that. That Squash is my thumbnail. Hello, everybody. I'm Squash. He's fat. That's why I thought he'd be appropriate for a thumbnail. My fat, plushy Lino Squash. I'll get into the video in a moment. I'm just going to heat my tea up. I didn't know if I really wanted to do a live stream. I did before, like I really wanted to before. But then what happened was, I decided it would be a cool idea. When you're quite finished. No. The one person that I had on my stream has disappeared now thanks to the reconnecting crap. Come on, people, stick with me on this. You know my stupid connection is, well, stupid. Use it as a stand, you see. I also used it as a means to hold my phone, which you couldn't see before. So what I like to do is, what was it? When I'm holding my phone, when this is stuck to the back of it, obviously, it's come off. I like to do that and hold it like that so I don't have to grip, because this phone is massive, like it's dead wide. It's like the size of a small tablet. So as you can imagine, it's quite hard for me to grip it and hold it up like I'm doing now. So what I do is I do this to keep it held up. So I can be like that. Instead of being like that trying to grip it, I can sort of have it just hanging from my hand like this. But now it's come off, I can't do that anymore. So I'm going to get my mum, or I could do it really, to glue it. Because it just needs gluing. The only thing is if it gets glued, it won't be able to swivel. This swiveled, you see. Which could be handy sometimes, but it doesn't need, I don't need it to swivel. Just trying to figure out what glue to use. I've got this one. It says lock something. Lock something. I can't even tell if it's got anything in it. Yes, it does actually. I'm going to attempt to do it now, seeing as how no one's coming to my live stream. Everybody has decided to not bother. Oh dear. I don't think this is going to work somehow. It's all... Is that the glue my mum's been using? That's all dried up. Sorry about that. I like to get into the video, to be honest, straight away, as in the topic, because, you know, it's, you know, I think about people viewing this stream afterwards when it's not live anymore. I don't want to bore them. So I'm just going to get right into it. Because I prefer doing live streams, if I'm honest, to doing videos and then uploading them. Because what I do is I'll make a video, and at the time I'm dead passionate about it and enjoying doing the video, and then afterwards I like think, I don't want to upload it. So now I have to use things to prop it up on now. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about my makeup. Connecting again. I think the best time to experiment with makeup is when I'm not going out. Because if I'm going out and I do my makeup, especially for going out, and it doesn't turn out right, then, you know, I'm stuck looking like shit, or I have to wipe it all back off again, which, you know, with sensitive skin I'd rather not do. Because sometimes my skin, I can feel really nice, you know, like really comfortable, and then if I mess about with it I can start getting itchy and annoying. So like that's very annoying, isn't it? It's very annoying. So it can annoy my, it can irritate or annoy my face. Risk on the day I'm going out. Risk messing it up when I'm not going out isn't so bad. Oh, I think my mum's coming in, so we might get interrupted. I'm trying to enhance my look. Mum, I keep I keep forgetting to tell you or ask you. My what's it's come off. You know, my I don't know what it's called really. This phone stand thing.
Oh yeah, I've told you.
come off at last, and I needed to glue it back on.
Yeah, mine works perfect. It still does it, you know, turning around thing. There's no glue.
So you're able to do that then, glue it and it still swivel.
Oh, look at my phone. Go with my phone. See if you got.
No, I believe you. I'm all right. Just, you know what I like to do with it? Not only do I use it for a stand, I also do it to do this watch. So I can grip my phone more easily. Because if without this, I have to actually do this, you know, grip it, and it's...
Yeah, well,
I hate doing that.
What I do with
I like
mine.
doing that. Careful, don't press any don't press any buttons.
I'm not. Hold on to it. Right. What I do with mine is I just do that.
Yeah, that's also a good idea.
Well,
I tried to do it myself, but that glue doesn't seem to be very... It seems to be all dried up. Oh, you do use that one. Just it's all dried up, so I can't do anything. Tried to do it myself. Not sure I'm going to like this tea. What have you done?
right.
You pressed the button.
Well, I can't help that. You can't have me do.
You saw it.
Crying out loud.
How did you do that? I didn't know you could do that. It zoomed in.
I'm clever. Eh?
You're very clever. Hang on, let me try something. Okay, no. It's not working. Stay still.
Just let me do it better.
Oh, ow.
I know what you have to do is you have to leave it like that for a bit.
So you've done it, it worked, did it? You've got... Thank you.
That. Don't mess about it till it's properly glued.
I won't mess with it, but I'm going to have to hold it for a minute. I'll hold it still, like together of the thing.
Held together.
Yeah, I'm holding it, don't worry. Can't believe you could do it so it still swivels. I'm so pleased.
Well, it does, it's on the swivel thing, isn't it? If I'd have glued the entire thing, then it wouldn't work, would it?
Very true. So I thought that's what would have to happen. I'm glad.
No, as long as you let it dry overnight without touching.
Suppose everybody's gone now. I had about 3 views, but now they're probably all gone now. That's annoying.
Hey, look.
A swivel.
Swivel's just the same.
Cool.
Because I haven't glued the entire thing in the back.
You just glued the little pointy thing to the inner, not pointy thing.
As long as you don't touch it overnight and don't have it on the stand, don't open it up or anything. You've got to leave
I won't.
it like that.
Don't worry.
Right.
Yay!
Yeah, take this off.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
That's washing these things because of stuff that's obviously wet and it's just been left to hang recently.
I know. Have you got it?
Have you been looking for sewing, knitting needles and wool for me?
Yes, Mama.
Knit a patch.
What did I do with my tea? Oh, I can't keep track of this. I can't keep track of my tea.
I suppose I'll be able to get well,
Oh God, it stinks. Smell this. What does that smell like? Does that smell nice or not?
No, it smells like medicinal.
It smells horrible, doesn't it? It's all natural stuff though. It's supposed to help you focus and concentrate and energize and everything. That's why I thought I'd try it, but it's putting me off the smell.
You need a card. third drawer down. Right.
I definitely need some.
But you take it out and then you put that back in there. I don't want to see it disappeared when I come to getting oh God,
Good, because I need to do a drawing of the Queen, don't I? Or am I doing that on canvas? Prince Philip.
You've got all different size
Yeah.
canvases there.
I like doing
Got
teeny
some
ones.
tiny ones.
Imagine doing little teeny tiny portraits of people and animals like this big.
Exactly.
Like this big. Look.
That's the ones you've got. Well,
Oh, that'd be so cute. Imagine, should I do one of the Queen on that? That'd be so
why
cute. So cute.
not all have to be big.
No. Just about whether I'd be able to do enough detail on. No, that'd be so cute. I'll have to do some practicing first before I do the real thing. So cute. It's the tiniest thing. And I could do people's pets on there, couldn't I? Do animals on there. Hey everybody, I could do animal commissions for you if you like. Pet commissions and people commissions. Real ones, realistic ones, I mean. And painted ones and oil paints. Not just the... So obviously nobody likes my digital stuff, so... Well, I don't know. I don't know. Nobody has really showed an interest, so... It's quite a shame. Oh, I could do a Fluffers one. How about a coloured portrait of Fluffers on here? Oh, adorable. Our Fluffers. This one. Don't know whether you can see that. But Our new cat. I've noticed a new pussy kitten on the new calendar.
Yes, I forgot to turn it over.
Can I ask you a question?
No.
Is it bad luck to use the calendars from other years? Like reuse them?
I don't know, never done it, so I just say the old ones, but I don't remember this stuff.
Well, yeah, saving them. I'm talking about having them up and actually.
Are you listening?
Mhm.
I don't finish my sentence.
Sorry.
After the fixes themselves.
This size. Sorry about that. Yes, and I understand that, and it's a very good idea. So right, so what I was.
Sometimes you want to use them up, but what for? If they're out of date.
I bought this calendar in 2020 at the hospital because it was a charity one. So it was quite expensive. It was a tenner. So I have to use it every year to get the money's worth. And I bought it because it's got fat guys in it. I just have it up. You just ignore the 2020.
Well, you just take the pictures of it.
They're not that good. It's only like a cluster of rubbish. Well, maybe I could just do that. Yeah, I'll do that.
Get rid of the rest of it.
Where's the rest of it? I don't know. I just feel guilty about throwing it away when it cost me a tenner and not using it as a calendar.
Yes, that is bad. But, you know, you did do it for charity, so I suppose.
Yeah, there was a hospital, so it was a hospital charity thing. Their new fat guy calendar. Well, just blokes with terrible bodies, actually not.
I want you to open the pink thing inside it.
That pink thing.
Yes,
Or some other pink.
I've washed it ready for the next. Oh, which also brings me to, you know that toothbrush you got?
Nope.
Get more of those.
Oh yeah, they're good, and I could just get them dead cheap because they're like a 2-pack of cheap ones.
Those,
All the other ones are expensive. I don't know what makes them
I
so
don't know if
special.
I've got little teeth or difficult mouth, but anything bigger than that, and it's a good shape.
Well, same for me.
It gets into every nook and cranny.
Yeah, it's much better.
Don't.
I agree. I hate the big ones and the big hard ones. I hate those.
So
I don't know what's special about all the other ones. The only difference between these cheap ones and the more expensive ones is that the, whatever you call this bit, the stem bit, is just fancy and colourful.
well, exactly.
So you're just paying for the colourful handle bit.
Seen that way.
But the toothbrush bit's the same. Except you like I say colourful. I will. Good idea, I will do. Didn't know you could zoom in on this side. I will. I will.
Because also I find with the ones that we've been using in the past, they don't get, because my teeth seem to go that way, so they don't get into down there properly. And getting down here, to do it down here, I end up with sore gums. Whereas with that, I don't know.
This is chronic.
No.
It's definitely not my favourite taste.
I meant to mention it when after using it, but,
Oh, you've mentioned it now.
but now that we've done that,
I don't know why these people like fancy teas.
went on to get some soda.
Yes. I prefer tea. Cup of tea. Normal tea.
No, not ever.
I don't like all these fancy teas.
Have a rest and a sleep.
I don't get it.
But I might not sleep.
Yeah.
I need to go back in.
Again.
I've painkillers as well, so and I've eaten.
Yeah.
So it's all positioned now when I sleep.
That's good then. So are you okay for me to cook those crisp bakes? I've just realised I was going to do them this week.
Those what?
Crisp bakes.
Oh, well, take it off that then, because I put the cheese leaf in there.
Yeah.
Pie, so.
It's just I've been looking forward to having the...
It's Thursday, just what you do tonight.
Yeah. I think I prefer the green tea to this one.
And don't forget to do it in here. At least you'll have done something for the day. I always do one thing at least in the day.
I will. I like that.
I've seen you so far. You've got your coat on from when you've been out. White.
I am going to do something. I said I was going to Hoover.
You wash the pot.
Well, I don't wash pots because my hands go all
I don't care what your
itchy and...
reasons are for it. I wash the pot. I could have made the brews at the time.
See what I mean? I have to do something
Thursday,
useful.
Some other things. Why don't you put your John Frieda's away? And what's that doing there? When
Which?
you know it doesn't live there. Hey?
I don't know. John Frieda's. Oh, right, yeah. Hair stuff.
Put it away.
I'll put it away in a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Stop nagging me, woman. I don't like to do anything when I get nagged. I'd rather do things on my time.
When I originally told you, it wasn't nagging. It only ends up nagging if someone doesn't do the things that you do.
No, it's just nagging. You're just being a pain in the ass, Mama. Aren't you, Mama? Well, get out of my way then. How am I supposed to do anything when you're in the way? The problem most of the time is either you're in the way or you're interrupting me or saying, do this, do that. Like, sometimes I'll be doing one of the things that you've asked me to do, and then you'll be like, yes, do this, do that, and interrupt me while I'm in the middle of doing the thing you told me to do.
What thing? I don't remember anything.
I know, but I've done that in the past. I mean, you've done...
Right, Kirsty, I will not go over this again. Nobody nags unless somebody ignores them. So don't ignore me. Then you won't get nagged.
But I'm not ignoring
Other than
you.
that, it will be like any married couple. The
You're my
woman
wife.
ends up being the nag.
You're the woman and I'm the man that's useless. I'm the man that's useless and you're the woman that nags.
No, you're not useless, Kirsty. You just choose not to. It's like now, everything's for ease. And some woman, Kirsty, for instance, she's never cooked in her life and she won't MasterChef.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, but that means she can cook. It's just that she couldn't be asked. But because it was a competition, there's probably money at the end.
So she did her utmost best.
She actually won MasterChef.
Because she made an effort.
Well,
I know women are like, I can't cook because I've got big nails.
So they make an effort to do anything.
I've got big nails, like this many inches. So I can't do anything. But I bet you they can really, but they just can't be asked.
Everybody's capable of birthdays, whether you want to be capable.
Even those women with those massive
If you want to make
nails.
excuses.
That big. I've seen a woman, she's got like this big. 5 inches. Easy. And there was some women with like these nails that go like this. Like that's how long they were. Stupid. I don't know how they cope with them. I don't want people like that coming near me.
Oh, we should find another towel that needs to be changed.
I will admit I do feel good when I do something useful. Do a million jobs and... No.
One job a day.
Okay. Well, I'll make putting these these John Frieda things, these shampoos away my one job. Don't forget I'm cooking as well, so that's another job. I've been out to get all your millions of...
It's not another job, it's a necessity.
Still something that I've done. I've still done some. Heck, if someone says that my making the phone call to them was something useful, then cooking is definitely useful.
Well, useful.
And Bev said that once, you know. I went like, I said, oh, I feel guilty because I've done nothing today. And she went, yeah, you obviously have done something because you've been out today. Or you've made this phone call to this person or something.
Necessities don't count.
Oh, okay.
There's a job in the house that's in desperate need of doing, like hoovering and cleaning. That's more useful.
No, but I'm trying to hoover, but you're in the way. It's all your fault.
Show my kitchen before you start making a mess.
Making a mess. I can't even find what I'm looking for. Oh, so annoying.
Oh, it was really fun. You'd have laughed at it. It was quite good. So I come in here. It was very funny, but again, you know, it's not like I expect things to happen, so I don't have a video. I'll come in here and I went like, right there is a spider, which I wasn't expecting, so I turned around like that. Oh! The next thing, it leapt and fell off. It actually leapt up and fell off, and me screaming at it. It was very funny.
That's scary.
You know, like you used to laugh at the cat.
Oh, when he
Leapt
jumped.
up in the air.
Yeah.
That did the same thing.
Like you do this.
It was very funny.
The slightest noise he would.
Very funny it was. I've never seen a spider do that before. It's very funny. You know, normally they just and scuttle off, but this one just actually leapt and fell off. It did a car. Oh, that was cornflake.
Oh, I did a cornflake.
Well, you don't know, do you? That's what cornflake used to do.
Cute.
And like I say, have
He's
you seen a
cute.
spider do that before?
No.
Oh, no.
That's great though, isn't it?
So how do you know it's a cornflake? Get around to doing those two things where I've got other things at the moment I need to do in the living room.
Yeah, I've got presents in there as well, actually. I'm due for your presents this year. Finding some good ones. Well, it's lucky. It's lucky it seems that something that you're, you know, into seems to be very popular at the moment. I'm not going to tell you what it is.
No.
You might be able to guess, though. Something you're into seems to be very popular at the moment.
See, that's rubbish, that. But I can get...
It's great.
No, it isn't. It's rubbish.
Okay.
I altered one part of it, the ear. But the nose, I haven't altered the front part. It's all wrong.
Oh, no.
I can easily sort it out.
Right, it seems to have taken already, but I'm not going to mess about with it anyway.
I've not had what's it drink for that.
Okay. Smelling all sorts of things today, you know.
Hey?
I've been smelling all sorts of things today. From butt, sweaty butt.
So how did it taste, that drink?
This drink,
Well, obviously, you said it's not hard. What's it take?
It's like really tarty, sort of like sweet tarty, like some kind of fruit. I think it's like mango and pineapple and stuff like. So I think it's the pineapple I'm tasting, and it's very chronic.
Maybe you should have sugar with that.
It's very strong. Oh, did you not put sugar in it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, and you're saying
I said,
don't
maybe
have.
I shouldn't have done.
Oh,
Because it's already got fruit in it, which means they'll already have natural sugar
sweetness.
in.
Sweetness, yeah. I don't know really.
Like your vegetables, did you know that they have natural sugars?
Yes. Everything
Yeah,
does.
Sugar, salt.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I knew I didn't mean.
Well, you know salmon.
Who?
Salmon.
Yeah.
The fish. The food fish.
Yes, yes.
Well, it's already naturally salty, but someone decided it would be a cool idea to add salt to it. So I tasted it and it was salt personified. It was so disgusting.
Well, it would be, yeah.
It's like, you know,
Salty.
and you think that those soups I have are salty, and I think, oh my God, I can handle them, but that is just, that salmon was really bad.
You shouldn't, because
So,
that soup, too much of it. That's why I said to you.
why would you add salt to salmon?
But anyway, the thing about this is, well, it's like adding sugar to honey. People say it's got natural honey in it.
I know.
I don't find that sweet at all.
I know.
And I add sugar. Look at that. Did that take long? Did that seem like a lot of effort?
I'm getting annoyed. I want to do this video.
Or set your timer down so it's not left with.
Okay.
So if you want 10 minutes, just do when you do 10 minutes, just 9 or something. 9 minutes.
What is she talking
9 seconds.
about?
You can't be bothered pressing that switch. Oh,
Well, like I've got no.
start work with you. Even the simplest bloody thing is too hard for you.
Yes, it is. Apparently, it is.
How much? Oh, I did that for 30 days.
I'm bored now.
Back into you.
Well, don't do that then. Because you're nagging, that's why. You're having a go at me again. So that's why you're making mistakes. Just don't do that then. You're being punished.
It's wonderful. Oh, setting out things from today. Get round to everything eventually.
You like what?
Well, to get rid of that piece of thread for one. Try and get some knitting needles.
Did that make a noise?
What's it, so do a patch so I can patch it up. So it's, you know. It's drawings, pictures.
I'm sorry,
painting, all
guys.
that I want to do.
Stick with me, okay?
My filing, I'm trying to sort out. The
Eventually,
drawers,
I'll be able to talk.
I'm going to sort out.
Yep.
Don't forget to get those bags.
Okay.
And then if I need bigger ones at some point for something, then I'll let you know what. Or you can just buy different sizes if they're not too much money. I don't know what they cost.
Okay. A lot of money. I will do that then. It's probably a good idea.
Because then they'll be easier to find because I'll put them.
And then we could do art together, and then I can.
Because with this, for instance,
get back into it again.
if I can,
like my career.
I'm going to try and put it into, you know, a couple of sections.
Yeah.
And then have them like that so that there's one behind the other.
Okay.
A couple of sections. Yes, art together, definitely.
Yeah, because then it'll be like a proper job where I'm going to a job and then doing a painting like every day.
Well, that's what I bought all this for.
I like to get back into that again.
Down together
and then I can start showing my art and telling everybody you've got to buy my art or else.
Anyway, I don't just talk about things because I like to get on. So
yeah.
Right, so is this done now? Don't forget that piece of that line.
Yeah, that's all done.
The line paper. So
I'll have to take it from my diary then. I'm going to put this flat down so it will keep fluid. I told you people to stay with me. Someone's left. How very dare you? In a bit, I'll be able to talk. Just fucking be patient. I'd like people to stay with me because I have loads of important things, believe it or not, to talk about. Loads. Like, not just the title. Unfortunately now.
Have you been looking for that Easter stuff yet?
Oh, I have.
There's the envelope I'm going to
How big
use.
do you want it?
Oh, hello.
I'm having to do it with my what's it. You know, take this out.
No, just rip a piece of paper out.
But the whole thing, that's a waste.
Why?
How much do you want to write on it?
I don't know. Starts with that.
So I want to rip the... It's not perforated.
Well, at least... Well, I don't...
I'd
At
have
least
to cut
half.
it. Okay. I don't... It's alright, I don't mind butchering my diaries.
You should have to use your diary.
I don't have any lined paper. Don't have any notepads anymore. Or if they are, they're all in boxes with a bunch of stuff on top of them.
And then you'll have to...
Hey!
No.
Hey!
Then you'll have to click it like with the others.
You're so funny!
Okay?
Okay. So you're bloody rolling your eyes at my sneezing.
Fair with you. If you try and talk again. Don't make me laugh.
Do that again. The whole thing.
As soon as I start to talk to you.
It's I know. Every time. I've done that with other people too, trying to talk, and I'm just sneezing all over the place.
Well, you've got notes written on it, which is very useful.
What? What?
It's got notes written on it.
Oh, right. I thought you meant I've...
You what you thought?
Oh, no, I've ripped out my notes and gave it to you. Bye. That was so funny. I got it on camera too. That's great, isn't it? You despairing at all my sneezing.
Don't show anybody me looking like this. I'm looking gorgeous or something.
At some point. Oh no, everybody's left. Oh no. I've scared everybody off with my mum now. My mum scared everybody off. Alright, sorry. I'm going to sit down now. What day? Saturday. I'm going to take these shoes off. I meant to take them anywhere. I meant to take them off earlier. I can't bloody speak. Never mind. Sneezing. I can't form words properly. After a while of wearing things like leggings and boots and stuff, my legs start to itch. My ankles or shins or calves or whatever start to itch. It's better than it used to be when my eczema was worse. Yes, believe it or not, it used to be worse. Not saying it's great now, but it's not as bad as it used to be. I have quite a number of things to talk about. So, do one thing at a time. In fact, just so I don't forget stuff, I'm going to write it down in my notes. What the hell's that? Stay organised by buying our new 2023 diary. In selected Sainsbury's store now, we have an exciting range of diaries that will suit your organisation needs. All diaries are subject to... Okay, they've just like put a random advert in the middle of this, this day-by-day diary, as I call them. These, they're called week-to-view ones. I call them day-by-day diaries. I call them that because my main diaries I just call diaries, but they're really journals, so it's where you just write about anything and write big long periods of things, you know what I mean. So I've got a diary where you write in what happens every day, and then I've got a diary where I just write about whatever, whenever. So at the moment, I'm actually so far behind, I'm still writing about what happened when I met with Bruce. And I'm still writing about the part where we're at the Asda Cafe. I've not even got through it yet. I've not even got through the part where we... what does that say? Sick of the Asda. Oh yeah, he said he was sick of the Asda cafe. So we went to shop because he said he needed some bits as well. And then I needed some bits as well. So, you know, I shopped and he shopped. He didn't pay for anything. He didn't pay for my food. He didn't pay for my groceries. Nothing. It was really shit. And people will be like, oh, you can't expect the man to pay for everything. Yeah, you can. And you know what? If I went out with the girl, I would pay for. Not that I can afford it, but that's what you do. The man pays for stuff, so there. That's how it is. That's how it always has been. And how it always shall be. If, for any reason, people, as in a couple, decide that's not for them, like the woman decides, oh, I will pay for half and you pay for half, or the woman decides, I'll pay for everything, okay, that's fine. For that suits that particular couple, like everyone's in agreement that the woman will pay, or they pay half and half, then okay. But typically, if it's not arranged or talked about, it's usually the man that pays. So there. People might say that's old-fashioned, but that's just traditional. That's how it is, and that's how it should be. Because generally, women are just the property that needs buying everything for them. Just kidding. But I'm cool with that. I mean, I'm cool with that because, you know, it means I get looked after. So I don't mind being kept by a man. Because they'll look after me, and that's great, you know. I don't know why women passed that up or wanted to. Although women do still expect to be looked after even now. Because as I was saying before about the nails, that's one of the topics I don't know why I put my diaries away over there. I've just stacked them back up over there. I don't know why. I'm supposed to be writing a list of things to talk about. Just so I remember. I'd pay for our swimming and our cafe food, yes. So Richard here, Cookie Fatty, or Cookie Fatty, as that woman said. You know that video of that woman when she was like poking fun at Richard on, I think it was TikTok, like a TikTok live stream. I think it was a TikTok live stream. But I did a video, like a screen recording video of Richard's live stream with this woman, Emzy or something, and she spoke like this. And her son was in the background and called him Cookie Mixture. And they were going on about him, you know, the house and saying, oh, let's look at your shelves and, oh, look at your dirty fingernails and all this shit she was going on about. It was so funny and weird. I watched that back recently and I thought, oh, I wish I didn't interrupt because I would have liked to have listened to it properly. At the time, I think it's funny when I interject stuff, but then afterwards when I'm hearing it, I think, oh, shut up. Like I'm telling myself to shut up because it's annoying because I was trying to listen to what was being. And then you can hear me talking away in the background to my mum because she was talking to me as well, so that was kind of annoying as well. So anyway, so Cookie Fatty is a normal person who paid for the stuff. Brad is a normal person who paid for the lunch or the groceries. And that Phil person is a normal person who paid for the lunch. I can't remember who else, but quite a few people have that man that right. Last year, I managed to meet up with more people last year. So first I met up with a guy, I think he was called Matt or something, who I met in Ashton. As in, I met him for the first time in Ashton, and then we sort of arranged a date thing after exchanging contact details and chatting on text or Messenger or whichever one it was. That's how I like to meet people. I like to meet people in real life, exchange contact details, and then arrange to meet like proper like date or whatever. I'm not sure if it was really a date. We didn't call it a date, it's just like a meet-up thing. He didn't pay for anything. And then after that, who did I meet after that? I can't remember who it was after that. That was like the beginning of the year, sort of. Not the beginning like January, but I mean the beginning in my book, which is more like, I can't remember. I think it was June actually. I think. And then in July, I think it was, I met up with that convict guy, which was not very pleasant. I think he paid. I think he paid for the lunch because I had a hot dog and a coffee. He had nothing. He paid for my stuff, but then he drank my coffee, as you know. I wish I'd fucked him off there, and then I really do. When he kept trying to grab it, I managed to fend him off for most of the time, but then eventually he managed to get it. I was like really worried he was gonna snatch my hot dog as well, but luckily he didn't. So I managed to eat all of that, but unfortunately I didn't get to wash it down with a cup of tea, coffee. I wish I'd told him to fuck off now. When he did that. In fact, when he first arrived, I should have told him to fuck off because he was drunk. He came drunk and off his head on drugs. I know it was definitely drunk because he smelled of booze, and he was obviously off his head. According to that arsehole of a security man, that for some reason took an instant disliking to me way before that incident because of the I've forgotten his name. The big baby anyway. Whose name I shouldn't really mention. But you know what, I don't give a shit. But if I remember his name, I will say it. Because I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if anybody hears me say it. Because as far as I'm concerned, these people are assholes and they need being called out for it. But anyway, Mr. Big Baby, who works at the pharmacy, just because I hit on him, as in asked him out in a nice way. It's not like I harassed him or anything. But they said that I harassed him. I made that little video of him. Ever since then, that security man has been an arsehole to me and doesn't like me for some reason. And then when the incident happened with the convict guy, that security guard blamed me. Not the guy who was acting drunk and off his head on drugs and like touching me all over the place and snatching my stuff, because he snatched my sunglasses to try them on, which I wasn't happy about because of COVID. And he snatched my coffee, which I wasn't happy about because of COVID. Or anything that he could contaminate me with. He might have a disease, or he might have a cold or a flu. It could be anything. He might have mono. And then if, you drink it and then I drink it, could pass it on. I don't know, do I? So it's not just about COVID. Everybody just says everything's about COVID. It's like these masks. People complain about these masks and say, oh, the light's like wearing a muzzle. But it's like, no, it's not. First of all, I think it looks cool. And second of all, it protects you from other things like colds and flus. In fact, the first time I decided to go out without a mask the other week, I got a cold. So it's not just about COVID. So I don't know why people blame everything on COVID. Like, everybody's saying they've got COVID now, even if they've probably just got a cold or a flu or some other illness. They just say, oh, I've got COVID. And I bet you even those little tests, I bet the people have really just got colds. But then they do the tests and it comes up positive for COVID. They've probably just got a cold or a fever or a flu or something. But everybody's got COVID now. It's like, well, 1 minute everybody was like, oh, it doesn't exist and it's a conspiracy theory. The next minute, suddenly everybody's got COVID. So I don't know whether to believe them or they just think every illness now is COVID. So I'm not saying I've had COVID. I'm saying I just had a cold. No. So do I just do the pictures then?
Yeah, just
Email.
The pictures you took.
And email them. Okay.
You did do this one, didn't you, with me?
I did.
Just don't send them that. But that's the email address. You just send them that and that information. That at the front. Anyway, regardless.
Right.
Just use my email, obviously. My Honey Willow.
Mahoney Willow.
Yeah. Use my Mahoney Willow to send one to Travel Concessions and that information there.
Okay.
Well, then I can use this for something else.
It is very nice.
Use it, whichever. So will you do that as soon as you go on tonight?
Yep.
Save the postage, yeah? Oh. Didn't realise what email. Alright.
Alright.
Oh, that's what's wrong. I haven't got mine. What have I done with it?
This. It's here.
I folded it up instead. That's very nice. Oh no.
It came out of your pocket.
I'm an idiot. I forgot about that. Don't answer that. What have you done with your phone? Yeah, I've got it flat somewhere.
It's here.
Oh.
It seems to be glued all right, so I think it's okay. Well, I'm trying to make a video and you're interrupting me.
Well, I'm always in your bloody videos. You know, when I'm gone and you see these, you're going to think it's wonderful.
I know, and it's so funny. And I'll be rolling my eyes and, oh, she interrupted my video. And I'm going to have a good laugh about it. That is... Yay! It's just that when I'm in a flow, I like to kind of...
You've not got a photo of everything.
Well, I think that's probably makes them more interesting anyway than just me going on about stuff. It's probably dead boring. Probably people find it dead boring, me just talking about random stuff. I know I would probably. If I saw someone just live streaming, just talking on random things, I'd probably just go, I'm bored now. I'd feel guilty though. But, you know, it depends if things catch my interest. I found myself watching my own videos and streams and going, oh, I can't be bothered. Sorry about that, everybody. I'll try again. Slingshot mask. Slingshot. You could use them as slingshots. See, that's a good idea, isn't it? I could use it just to slingshot the hula massive rock in there and go. I saw Donna Hands today, but I couldn't be bothered dealing with her, so I just shook my head at her. Anybody having playback issues? Oh no, you're kidding. Anyway, so that convict person, going back to the convict person, another slingshot. So everybody's left now. Everybody's fucked off. I've got 3 views. I had 5 for ages, but now I've got 3. Makes a great slingshot. Let's see if it works. I don't have anything to slingshot. Oh, great. So this means everybody can't even hear what I'm saying because it's been buffering and shit. Oh, me carrying on then, really. It is a pain in the ass. If it's not working. No, I think that's a bit stupid. Is there any point in me carrying on? I'm just wondering if, I mean, I'm comfy now, but maybe I should go somewhere else where the internet connection's better. Maybe that's why people are leaving. It says 708 working. I don't know what that means. It's my internet is shite. Yeah. So people can't even hear what I'm saying. Oh, great. Just wondered if I should go somewhere else. Because to me, it's not saying. Or it's 5 o'clock. What? It's not 7 o'clock. 7:09 or whatever you said. 5:09. It's not that late, no. I think your clocks are wrong. I know you live in a different country, but surely that not that far ahead of us. If you're in America, you're 2 hours ahead. No. Okay. So I thought you were near Germany, and that's only 1 hour ahead. Guess not. I don't know where anything is. I don't know geography, unfortunately. I don't know where any countries are in relation to each other. I know France is like next door, but I don't know about Sweden or anything like that. I think he's in Sweden, isn't he? I mean, I have looked at maps in relation to each other. No clue. Yes, I am early, and I told you why. Because, you know, I was up early today, and therefore I went out early. So obviously I'm streaming earlier. And it would have been even earlier than that, but I was interrupted before I started streaming. Anyway, my mum's even trying to ring me now. I can hear her go, doo, doo. I don't know where my actual house phone is, so she better not ring me on this phone. I'm going to go mad. Right, it's playing smooth now. Okay. So anyway, so that convict guy, so that security guard who took an instant dislike to me because of the incident with Big Baby. He blamed me about the convict guy. He said, oh, you shouldn't give these people the time of day, and oh, you should stop encouraging all these weirdos. Like, how can I help who I attract? I only attract weirdos. Here she comes. I can hear her trundling in. Every time I go up, she comes in. So, yeah, I can't help who I attract. I mean, there might be a way, like I can stop attracting weirdos, but I don't know what it is.
You got a parcel?
What parcel?
It says a parcel's handed to residents.
No.
From Amazon.
I only got one from the from.
Did you lock up when you come back?
No.
Oh, so it might be outside.
Anyway,
Hey?
I'll try again.
Well, it says it's been handed to residents, so...
Yeah, the one this morning did.
No, that wasn't from Amazon Thursday.
I know that. Anyway. So if you guys can tell me, like you guys, like seriously, I want to know. But if these people think it's so easy to stop attracting certain people like weirdos, then they need to tell me how I can stop attracting weirdos. Nope.
A big pest was to arrive, and that's what we said, it's been handed to residents.
I'm going upstairs. I'll go upstairs in a minute. Might get a better connection and no interruptions. Oh, the joys of living with parents. Although I've watched other YouTubers and I always thought they lived alone because you never heard anybody. But then they'll go, isn't that right, such a body? And such a body will answer and I'm like, whoa, they were so quiet. Like, first of all, how can you make a video live stream with someone right there? Wouldn't you be afraid that they'd think you were weird? I always feel awkward if I'd feel awkward if someone was in the room while I was live streaming, unless they were involved in the live stream. I would kind of feel a bit awkward with me talking to the phone while they were there, like I'm ignoring them. And I would also like worry that they were judging what I'm saying and stuff. That's what I would do. I'd feel dead uncomfortable if someone else was in the room. So yeah, I always used to think that these YouTubers lived alone because like there'd be like no interruptions and you didn't hear anybody in the background or anything. But then, like I say, you'd see them go, isn't that right? Such a body, and such a body would answer, and it's like, oh, expect that you are doing a video or a live stream in your house. So you've told them beforehand, right, I'm doing a live stream or I'm doing a video, and they've gone, right, I'll be quiet and won't interrupt you. Wow, okay, great. Well, that's how professionals do it. They have people who are respectful in their house that they're doing a video. So there. His dreams. Oh, they have own rooms. Doesn't matter what room I'm in, I would get interrupted at some point. And surely they would as well. You know, they'd have someone calling up to them at some point. Or walking in the bloody room or whatever. Mine would be on them. Like, there is like compilation videos of people, like funny things happening to people in videos or things, and one of them was like, oh, such a body's mother interrupted him and yelled at him while he was doing a video or a live stream. I'd be on one of those compilations, funny compilations of parents interrupting people while they're trying to do YouTube videos. Definitely should be in one of those. I probably am somewhere. Must be by now. As you shouldn't entertain them. Right, okay. Yeah, back to the point. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm so rude. I will get to also the title of the video as well, so don't worry. So just don't go away. I'm just getting so much interrupted. It's crazy. So don't entertain them. Okay. So I get that. But here's the thing. I'm one of those people who likes to give people a chance. I was also taught, how am I supposed to know that they are nut jobs until I get to know them? I can't. You're not allowed to judge a book by its cover. So yes, he did look like a bit of a nut job, the way he was darting about the outside of Asda that day. But I thought he was concerned about what had happened, which was the ceiling caving in. And I thought he was associated with that woman and baby that got cluttered up, that got, what's the word I'm looking for? Buried under all the ceiling crap. I feel bad for saying quiet to my mum, actually. Yeah, so I thought the reason why he was darting around outside was because he was associated with them. And then we just sort of got talking. So I don't know, I don't even know why he was there. Like, had he just, because a police car came, had he just escaped from that police car? But if he had, why would he be hanging around outside Asda? I just don't get it. So it never occurred to me that he'd be a nut job, that he'd be a weirdo. So that's why I ended up talking to him. Initially, I started talking to him because I was actually quite curious as to whether he was to do, because I was curious as to why. So he kept appearing and going away and appearing and going away at the entrance that I was, because we were all ushered outside and I was at the side entrance. And oh, that's not going to be distracting. All right, let's see if I can get less interrupted upstairs. Now I've got the telly to contend with, and you know she has it full blast. You know what she used to complain about? Her mum and dad always having the telly up dead loud in their house, but he does it now, so she's a hypocrite. So maybe if I go in the zoo, the purple room as you call it, I might get some peace. Right, let's try again, shall we? Unfortunately, the light is now behind me if I put this down. So I've really got no place to put it now. But I'll try to find some place. So my accordion's not going to work. Afraid the background's always shite. Load of nice boxes all piled up high. Load of nice boxes. Alright, let's try again. God. Cure. I think videos is better because at videos I can edit them. So I can edit out the parts where my mum interrupts me. Or the fucking telly interrupts me or whatever. Or I can do the whole cut, take 25. That's how many takes it would take to do a video in this house. I hope this entertains you. It's just like the most like unprofessional, rubbishest YouTuber content ever. But hopefully it's entertaining. I will admit I kind of do find it entertaining when supposed professional YouTubers or whatever. It's perfect. It kind of makes you think, oh, what's wrong with me then? I walked in on my bro filming. He never said he was recording. I think it's on YouTube, but I don't know where to find it. Yeah, I'd like to see that. That's funny. That would be funny. Like I say, there must be like a compilation somewhere where people have gone, you know, the people have just like done a compilation of videos of like more amateurish YouTubers, because no professional would do this, would they? No professional would have like loads of interruptions in their stuff. So they're probably like, there's probably somewhere of like amateur YouTubers, a compilation of them getting interrupted every 5 minutes, and people like walking in on their videos, or their parents yelling at them or something. Gotta be. Dysfunctional family compilation. Amateur YouTuber getting interrupted by dysfunctional family compilation. Because, you know, I've witnessed normal families and this doesn't happen. Like, you know what? I've actually gone out and seen grown up, like, mother and daughters or mother and sons, and I don't see them once having a go at them or having an argument. They're always dead civil and nice and shit. And it's like, whenever me and my mum used to go out, we used to fucking, when I say argue, I mean she argued, and I would just be like, nodding along and going, oh. And then my mum would complain to me later and say, oh, you make me look so bad because it looks like I'm the ogre having a go at you and you're all innocent and sweet and stuff. It's like, well, don't yell at me when we're out then. It's like I'm not even arguing. It's just that I'll do something that she doesn't like or do the wrong thing by accident and she'll have a massive go. Like last year, we went to my mum had something done, like her diabetic eye testing. And she had me take her to the convenience store, whose name I won't mention. And we were having a laugh and a joke, but as soon as I pulled up outside the convenience store, she started having a go at me for every little thing. Like, I'd not even done anything. I literally just pulled up. And all of a sudden she said, oh, do this, do that, don't do this. And it was like there was a woman there at the ATM outside the convenience store. And it's like there was no one around before. So I was convinced she did it deliberately because there was somebody there. It was so embarrassing. I think I remember what it was. So I pulled up outside. I can't remember what, there was something wrong with that for some reason. The way or where I parked her in the wheelchair. And I went to go and get her crutches because she told me to. So she was like, go get my crutches that were like in the back of the chair, in the wheelchair slots for the crutches. So she asked me to go get them because I didn't do it at first because I was waiting for more bloody orders. And so she did that. So I went to go and get the crutches. And as I went to go get the crutches, she told me to do something else. And because I dithered for like 2 seconds, she was like, don't do them, don't do this. And what it was she wanted me to go and bob my head around the corner. Go in the shop, bob my head around the corner to see if the owner was in. I thought, why does that make a difference? Because she wanted to go to Waz's anyway. Fuck. The convenience store anyway. See, I can't even edit that out. I'd have to delete the whole fucking stream. I mean, I could edit it out, but it'll take forever. Sorry, just forget that. Forget that. And if you people from around here are watching it, don't go blabbing to him that I've mentioned it. You fucking, what they call, tattletales. Actually, I don't give a shit. People like to tattle on me for some reason around here. Like I say, they're all keeping an eye on me, waiting for me to make some kind of mistake and then going and blabbing to whoever it is that I've made the mistake mentioning or showing inside the store or calling them a man or, like I say, she went, oh, look at this video. Oh, this person's calling me a man. And then all of a sudden, not only am I banned from the fucking shop, I also get a load of dirty looks whenever I go out. So it's like everybody somehow knows whenever I trip up. That's disturbing. What is? People normally keep the dirt at home. You're well light now. You mean well lit? Oh yeah, I'm reading every time they put well lit, they put well lighted. I thought, what? And then I realised, oh, it's American, isn't it? They don't know how to spell or grammar correctly. So I thought, oh, because I never knew that. I never knew. I thought it was just bad grammar. So Americans must say lighted instead of lit. It's lit. Lighted is bad grammar. That's not right. But Americans deliberately do everything different to us, even if it means bad grammar and spelling, in order to be, because they're being awkward, they're being stubborn, in order to be separate from us because they don't want to be associated with ever being a part of us. Because we used to own them, I suppose. We used to, I think, own certain states. British people, Britain owned them, certain states, I don't know. So after they did their Independence Day crap, they decided, well, we don't want to be associated with England anymore, so we'll change all the language. Of course, they don't want to change it to an actual different language, so they just change certain words and certain grammar, obviously. So instead of well lit, they say well lighted. That's bad grammar. Who says that? So yeah, it's stupid. You're stupid. Oh, here's another one that they do, and it's another one I learnt from Frasier, is that we say subconscious, they say unconscious. So, you know, when you say, oh, subconsciously, I hate such a thing, or subconsciously, I'm behaving this way, they say unconsciously. And I'm like, when I first heard it, I thought, that's not right. Subconscious and unconscious are two different things. Unconscious is where you're asleep, and subconscious is your inner conscious, like that you're not aware of. That's different to, I mean, they're like obviously connected, but they're not, the two words are different. Yeah, I trust Cookie Fatty to know everything about this stuff. Tee hee hee, tee hee hee. You're in the light right now. Yes, I'm. But the thing is, they make themselves sound stupid by doing all this bad grammar stuff and stupid spellings, all in the name of being awkward, just because they don't want to be associated with us. That's what I've heard. And before anybody gets offended and starts having a go at me and jumping down my throat and having what's the word? Something like a ton of bricks anyway. Ganging up on me like a ton of bricks. Coming down on me like coming down before people start coming down on me like a ton of bricks. I read it in a book. So just to save myself getting people pissed off at me, I'm regurgitating information I have read or heard, all the while agreeing with it. Although they didn't say quite exactly the way I've said it, but they have informed me in this grammar book that Americans have deliberately changed everything to be separate from us. And also because certain things, they liked things to be pronounced the way it's spelt. So like donut, for example, we spell it donut as in Daugernut, and they do D-O-N-U-T, dough, like D-O nut, which is wrong. It's Daugernut. It's D-O-U-G-H nut. That's how it is spelled. But everybody, even here now, is starting to spell it donut with a D-O. D-O-nut. It's Daugernut. And it always will be Daugernut. No matter how bad you think it is, or how hard you think it is. Because that's just how it's spelt, so there. Can't just change things just because the Americans don't like shit. It's not how it works. But the problem is not only are Americans trying to be, so they're trying to move away from us and be nothing like us, whereas British people, what do? We follow America. So we're starting to do what they do. So I've noticed, like I say, British people are like packages or whatever, say donuts, they spell it like the American versions, basket or barrel or whatever, and it had like crisps in it, you know, packets of crisps, and he called them chips. I thought, you're kidding me. So now even all these little children are obviously growing up, all these British little children are all growing up with the American slang and lingo and spellings of things. So now I'm hearing people say, I'm hearing people saying chips to mean crisps and fries to mean chips. So I think that's quite bad that now that we're following America so much. See, I don't think we should, even if we find America's stuff cool, for whatever the hell reason people think that. We should deliberately not follow them, because they are deliberately not following us. They're deliberately trying to distance themselves from us and be the opposite to us. So why are we trying to emulate them when they don't even like us? You know, they dislike us so much that they're trying to do everything different to us. So why would you want to follow someone like that? Nobody likes us, actually. Apparently the French don't like us, the Welsh don't like us, the Scottish don't like us, America doesn't like us. Apart from the odd weird person. Sorry, I meant the odd person. Don't know what happened there. Who says, oh, I like British stuff and I like the British accent or whatever. You get that, but ultimately don't like us because they're like, oh, well, you owned us once, so we hate you now. So we want to be all independent from you. And they're always slagging off our food as well, our traditional English food. They're always having a go at it. Like in Frasier, they're always having a go at, like, they go, oh no, Daphne's cooking. English cooking is really weird and bizarre and horrible. And it's like, it's not really. It's just that they've exaggerated it for the sake of that comedy of Frasier and other comedies in which it's mainly American and the, you know, there might be a British person in it and they make fun of the British person and they exaggerate the food. Like every time she was cooking, it was always like, oh, sheep's head soup or something. It's like, we don't cook like that. Maybe the Scottish do. You know, they have things like haggis. But we don't cook weird. In fact, nobody cooks weirder than the French. Ugh, snails and slugs and frogs and ugh, the hell. Oysters and they have all sorts of yuck things. But nobody ever, like, makes fun of their food or has a go at their food, but they always feel free to have a go at our. Have you seen American food? It's disgusting. I saw like this cafe type thing, and it was like this plate, and it had like chips on it. I will say fries for these because they have like the thin ones, so they are fries when they're thin. It's just that they're chips when they're like thick. And they'll have like, and then they'll have like pancakes on top of that, and they'll have like a bunch of cheese on it, and then like have this bunch of like brownie ready goop on it, and then they'll have like more cheese on top of it, and then they'll have like, oh, and you can't even recognize it. You don't even know what the hell it is. It's just like this pile of salty, sugary shit, and it's like you call our food. So the French have slugs and snails and frogs, which is not normal. It's disgusting. And the Americans have all this greasy, fatty, disgusting throw-up food. Then yet they all have the nerve to call our food, which is normal food, like bacon and eggs, or eggs, chips and beans, or fish and chips and peas, and lovely pies, like maybe beef and ale pies and chicken pot pies, and I'm trying to think of traditional British food. I mean, maybe they have a misconception of what British food is really like. Maybe they think that we eat sheep's heads or something. We don't. Like I say, maybe the Scottish do, because they like sheep's lining with breadcrumbs on it, so they probably have all that disgusting shit. But, you know, we don't. Actual British people, you know, English people don't. I don't call them. I've always thought Scottish and Irish were, and Welsh, they were foreign to me. They speak a different language. They have a different accent. They call themselves, you know, Irish, Ireland, Scottish, Scotland, Wales, Welsh. So as far as I'm concerned, they're separate to us. They may be on the same island, but they're separate to us. They're a separate nationality. So when I say British, I mean English in England. That's proper British, because they don't really want to be associated with us anyway. They want to separate. They have all these feckin' elections to be out of the United Kingdom, so they don't want to even be here. They don't even want to be a part of us, so I don't see why we should entertain them, to be honest. No offence, because I'm actually Scottish and Irish and Welsh and everything, because I live here, and I'm first and foremost English. So I feel a loyalty to England over. But I do like the other countries. I do like it. But I don't agree with the fact that they all hate us and they want to all be separate from us. So if they want to do that, then that's fine. But don't slag us off on our food. I think it's really shit when people from other countries slag our food off and our ways. And also, there's a thing that they all think that foreigners, especially Americans, they all think that we are. Yes, I know that, Richard. I'm not an idiot. I'm just saying, to me, they've always been separate countries. Otherwise, they'd all be called England. They'd all be called English. So there. So no. It's like, what is it? They have Hawaii and Mexico in America, but you don't call them Americans. They're Mexicans and Hawaiians. Hawaiians. I like my word better. So as far as I'm concerned, they're separate countries, even if they're tagged onto the, you know, America. They say that they're in America. It's weird. I always thought Hawaii was an island, separate. But apparently it's in America. And I think that's weird. Because to me it's a foreign place. But anyway, so yeah, so people cannot slag off. How very dare people slag off English food when it is actually normal food. It's the nicest food in the world. So there. Apart from Italian food. Yeah, so my favourite food is Italian and Indian. So there. So English food and Italian food and English, Indian and Italian food are the best foods in the world. So there. And Chinese food is pretty nice as well. But only some of it. I don't really like a lot of Chinese food. And Japanese food, oh, they have sushi, so that's disgusting. Again, another salmonella poisoning time. Raw shit, you know. Like I say, I don't understand people who have raw shit. I don't understand people who slag people off who have medium well done steak. Like I say, I think that's really shit that people slag people off who have medium to well done steak. First of all, it's nicer, and second of all, you don't get salmonella poisoning by having well done steak. So you're the stupid ones. Anybody who likes it raw or medium raw is stupid. They're the ones who can unfriend me on Facebook. Because yeah, I've seen these pictures that say unfriend me if you like it medium well and well done. Unfriend me. We can't be friends if you like it your steak like that. That's what they say, these pictures. The level of cookedness. And they say, unfriend me off of Facebook if you like it medium to well done. I'm like, yeah, well, in my book, it's the other way around. If you like it raw, don't come near me. That scene is being taster steak. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so, yes. I am sorry to divert a lot. I told you I had a lot to say today. I should have called it me talking about a load of random stuff. But, okay, so the main subject of the stream real quick. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to edit this afterwards so you only hear the bit where I'm talking about the main subjects. And I will, the other bits, I will title something different. So I'm going to when I edit it, I'm going to section my different live stream sections. And I'm going to like title them appropriately when I edit them. So apparently you can do that. It just takes a long time. You can only do one at a time as well. So if you do one edit, apparently it takes hours. And you can't even do any other edits in the meantime while you're waiting. You have to wait for it to finish editing. It takes forever. So this is why I don't like to do it in the YouTube studio editor thing. It takes forever to chop it. It doesn't even let you see a preview, so if you've done it wrong, you have to wait until it's done the millions of hours worth of whatever the hell it has to do to process the new edits before you can find out if it's any good. So okay, I'm going to talk about it now. So I've been watching Black Mirror lately, and one of the episodes called 15 Million Merits. And I didn't really notice this. There are other episodes too where this is the case, but this one stands out because I watched it, and with a lot of Black Mirror episodes I had to look it up on YouTube and find reviews where they explain what's pretty much going on. Because although I can follow them pretty well, there are some things I'm lost on, and I also understand they all have all these hidden meanings and stuff like that that you might not notice while you're watching it. So I like to watch people reviewing it and, you know, telling you about the stuff that you didn't know about it. So there's like this hierarchy level thing, which I wasn't really aware of. I thought they were just separate job type things, but apparently it's to represent like society and different ranks and levels in society. So like you've got low class, middle class, and then high class or working class. I think working class, they don't call it low class. Low class is working class because, you know, low class would be like offensive, wouldn't it? So you've got working class, middle class, and then whatever the high level is, because I don't hear anybody talking. I only ever hear people talking about working class and middle class, so I don't know what the other level is. So I'm presuming the higher level is like lords and ladies and like anybody royal or noble or whatever. You know, aristocracy type people. And gentlemen, like rich people, and I don't know if celebrities count. Probably not, I don't really know. But anyway, the class system in 15 Million Merits is the low class is these cleaners that wear yellow. The middle class is the people who ride on bikes, static bikes. And high class, apparently, is the one who goes on this talent show and makes it big for whatever talent they've got and becomes famous from that. And they go on to like live in a bigger place, and that's it really. I don't know if you get any more perks than that, but it seems like a very limited universe. You just seem to all live indoors. And I don't know about the low class, but I know the middle class ones that are on the bikes, they live in these like little, basically like cubes, where all the walls is a screen, and they've got like a bed in there and nothing else. They never really established how the low class ones lived, and I didn't even know. It never even occurred to me until I watched the review thing that it was a class system. I thought it was just like different jobs. I didn't realize it was like a class system, but apparently it's to represent working class, bikes, middle class sort of celebrities from that have made it big from this talent show. High class, I guess. But they all live like in this indoor universe. It doesn't seem very nice, but so I don't know. Anyway, so that's one thing I didn't realize when watching it myself before I watched the video where they reviewed it and pointed stuff out. Just sometimes things need to be pointed out to you. But they pointed out that like I said, I didn't notice this, but the lower class ones, the cleaners in the yellow uniforms, were all fat, and it never even occurred to me. Like, normally I notice that kind of thing, like, oh, of course the fat people are the ones that are the cleaners. Like, normally I do notice these things because I'm very obsessed with it, you know, because it like proper triggers me and annoys me whenever fat people are represented as being inferior in any way. The only thing I noticed was that the entertainment on the screens that are put in front of them when they're on the bikes, one television show, if you want to call it that, was of fat people getting thrown food at or something, like, and being humiliated and stuff. So I will admit that's sort of fattest. But yeah, I didn't even notice that the cleaners were all fat. I thought they just happened to be fat. But when it's pointed out, I kind of thought, oh yeah, they are all. And one of them that was fat, that was on the bike, I don't know, I can't remember what happened to him, but apparently fell off or something and couldn't do it anymore, so he ended up being one of the cleaners, and he was like fat. But again, it didn't really occur to me, which is really strange for me, because you'd think I would have noticed something like that. Being obsessed with the bad shit treatment of fat people and all, and how they're represented in society. But the person doing the review thing pointed that out, saying that in this society, fat people are basically seen as inferior. On that video. Because I will admit, when I watch things, because I'm watching this on Netflix, I think, oh, I'll comment that down below. And I think, oh, no, I can't, because I'm watching it on Netflix. Or I'm watching it on the telly, or I'm so used to watching YouTube videos and thinking, right, I'm going to comment on this, I'm going to comment that. So I'm so used to doing that now that I get quite annoyed that, oh, I can't comment. So even though it's not the actual thing, I think, well, it's a review, so I can, you know, make a comment on about that. More people are likely to. Speaking of that, I did you know, Bridgerton. I told you I was watching Bridgerton and something else. There was two things I was watching at the time. Oh yeah, the Larkins, the Darling Buds of May spin-off type thing. I know it's not really a spin-off; it's more like a remake. And I noticed in that they were all like, you know, pro muscular, six-pack abs, and you know, nobody who's fat can be seen. And the same with Poldark. There's like all the fat people were seen as villains, and you never see them shirtless or whatever. But of course, the skinny people you did get to see. So, kind of annoying. So I did reviews on IMDb of those things to say my criticism is the lack of representation of fat people, and pisses me off that you only get to see the muscular ones shirtless or naked, but you never get to see the fat people's nice, soft, smooth middles. Which just tells me that, oh, they're saying, oh, you must cover up if you've got the slight. So it's not even like, I don't even, like, I've noticed even if they're just slightly fatter, they're not even like fat. But if they're like normal size but they've got a soft middle, they won't show it. And I'm like, why are people so offended by softer bellies? You know, if you've not, like, even soft abs, that would be considered fat. You know, it's got to be rock hard, like they've all got to be visible, sort of thing. It's like, why? I don't even mind that shit being shown, as long as you also show softer bodies, whether it be slightly softer or fat. So it just pisses me off. And if it's the people themselves saying they'd rather not be shown, then they should be like encouraged, like saying, well, it's not taboo. I think people should be taught that it's not taboo to show off your belly if it's less than rock hard 6-pack iron washboard abs and flat as a pancake. I really don't think a softer belly is offensive. I can kind of understand like someone maybe being offended or disgusted by like a really fat, flabby, overhanging belly. Although I don't understand it myself because I love that shit. But I can kind of understand people being disgusted by it. But I can't understand people being disgusted by like a slightly soft belly. Like it's not even that flabby, it's just sort of, you just don't see visible abs. I get why people would be offended by that. I just hate the fact that there's not like more diversity in body sizes and shapes being shown. It's like all the focused on is black people being seen. That's it. It's like, oh, we've got to represent black people more. Or we've got to represent LGBT more. That's all there is. It's like, I said before, in schools, it seems like kids are being taught, like apparently there's a class for this. There's a specific separate class for this. And the class is kids being taught not to bully black people. I don't know whether LGBT or any other race other than black is involved in it. But I do know that there is a class about not bullying and being tolerant towards black people. That's it. I don't know if it includes any other minority, race, sexuality, or nationality, or do you know what I used to call nationality? Because before I knew the name nationality, I used to call it country kind, because I didn't know the word nationality when I was a kid. I was like, what is it when you're not a race, but you're from a certain country? And I learnt it was nationality, but before I knew that word, I used to call it country kind. So if I ever say country kind, you know what I mean. It's like my foot. I used to make up my own language, so that was part of my own language. And this is country, conoctory. So if you want to say country kind or conoctoried kind just for a laugh, you can do. You can use my language if you like. Spread it, you know, pass it on. I'm happy with that. As long as you credit me and say it was my idea. That would be cool if I could spread a new funny language. Like people spread certain things like cool and whack and stuff like that. Like somehow people manage to spread that stuff. So it'd be nice if I could spread something, even if it's just a word, like fluffer puffer ruffer puffers, or what was the other one? Bunched, or bowed. They're some of my words. Bowed means goodbye, or see you later. Good bunched means good night. To bunch means to curl up and be all snuggly and comfy dumpy. Because media spread image that all fat people are unfit, lazy, and overeating machines. That sounds hot. I don't understand why people have a problem with that. What's wrong with being lazy and unfit? And overeating machines. That all sounds really sexy to me, but maybe I'm just weird. I don't know what's wrong with that. I mean, rich people are that way. You know, privileged rich people are that way. That's why I don't get it. Because surely fat people, being fat would represent being, you know, like privileged and having an abundance. Eat abundantly. They can afford to overeat because they've got loads of money to buy loads of food. I don't care if you say it's cheap. No, it's not. I've seen some of the prices and it's going up. Do you know what? There's, at the supermarket I went to, whose name I won't mention, there's a meal deal, which I had, and guess what? It's gone up. So no, it's not cheap. There is no cheap food. Maybe it's fucking donated by charity, it's cheap. But if you buy it, it's not cheap unless it's really crap. So shut up. Food is expensive, especially if it's to overeat. It's like, you know, when I was trying to gain weight, somebody asked in the beginning if I was still gaining weight. No, I'm not. But when I was trying to gain weight a few years ago, I find it really hard to gain weight without spending money on like more than I would normally buy. So in order to overeat, you have to deliberately buy more than you need. Not, oh, buy more of it because you get more for your money. I mean, maybe there are shops where you can. I mean, I don't know what's cheap and what isn't, to be honest. I don't actually know. Like, if some people think that like a £50 million is cheap, because you hear on these adverts, don't you? Oh, it's now only £1 million. It's like, yeah, only if you've got more than £1 million to spare. It's like, to me, that's not cheap. I don't know what is cheap for certain things. It's like in that supermarket that I mentioned that I went to today, there was tweezers. And it was just like this one set of tweezers and it was like £4.40 or something. And it's like, that's not cheap to me. Maybe other people would say, oh yeah, that's dead cheap for tweezers. Because I got nothing to compare it to. But I'm pretty sure tweezers aren't worth £4.40 or whatever. Like there was other things there that were like bigger and more expensive, like whole sets of things, like tweezers, nail clippers, nail files, little scissors, and it was like the same price or similar price to that one set of tweezers in one little packet. So to me, that's not cheap. But maybe another person will come along and say, oh yeah, that's dead cheap for tweezers or something. I think, what makes that cheap? Is it because you've sort of compared them with other shops' prices of tweezers? And that's like they've been the cheapest one. Like maybe I don't know how people weigh cheapness, as you know. To me, cheap is like probably below £1. Anything over £1 to me is really expensive. That's how it is in my world. My personal world and opinion. Unless it's like a really big item. Like this accordion. If I could get this accordion here for £1, that's cheap. Anything over £1 for an accordion is really expensive. That's funny, isn't it? I don't know, I look at things and I think, oh, that's not worth £1 really. That's definitely worth below £1. Like sweets. I remember when I was a kid, I got this like lollipop and it was £1. I think it was £1. Yeah, it was £1. I think that's really expensive for this little lollipop, in my opinion. So I don't know, I could be wrong. Because I've said, oh, such and such a thing is such and such a price, and someone has gone, oh, that's really cheap. Or, oh, that's really expensive. And I was thinking, oh, I thought it was cheap. Or, oh, I thought it was expensive, but someone will come along and say, oh, that's the opposite of what I thought. So I'm like, oh, what do I know? So I have no clue. I don't know the value of things, I'm afraid. No clue. I just go with what I see. Like things that are small like this big, I think, oh, that's not worth £1. That's worth like less than £1. But maybe something that's this big, I think, oh, you know, it could pass for £1 or more. So yeah, I wouldn't know. I absolutely wouldn't know. Not without comparing things anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare. So tomorrow I'm going out to a place where there's cheap shops. Cheap shops. Then I'm going to compare the price. I'm going to see if I can get tweezers for less than £4.40 or 50 or whatever the hell it was. We shall see. We shall see. We'll see, I'll see. And then I'm going to also compare it to the other supermarket's price as well that I'm going to tomorrow to get the main shop, and I'm going to see if that's cheap. So I'm going to do research to find out what is cheap and what is expensive for tweezers. I just don't really think they're worth £4 whatever. I mean, they're just tweezers. Like, they don't really do anything. Look at how many... Well, you can't really see it because I'm fair, but I've pulled out about 3 eyebrow things. Eyebrow hairs with my fingers. You don't need tweezers. Like, I can do that for free. I can use my fingers for free to pluck my eyebrows. So why do you need to buy tweezers for £4.50 or whatever? I don't think this is working because no one's talking. I have no clue. Everybody's fucked off, I think. So either people are fucked off now or it's not working properly. I don't know which. I need to wish now because I've pulled out these. I don't know what to wish for. I already pulled about 1 million of them earlier on and did my wishes. Boring. That's a boring wish. That's a boring wish. I just wished on 3 different eyelashes. 1 wish. Presumably if you pull out more than 1 eyebrow hair or more than 1 eyelash, and presumably you can have more than 1 wish. Like 1 per eyelash or 1 per eyebrow hair. And if I wished for 1 wish on multiple eyelashes or eyebrow hairs, does that mean the wishes has more chance of coming true? So anyway, you guys have not answered my question. I asked you before, how do I stop attracting weirdos, but start attracting normal, civilized people, nice people, who are nice? When I say weird, I just mean like horrible, nasty, disgusting, horrible, disgusting people. I don't know, I have my own view of what's weird and what isn't. So if you want me to define it, because there's some weirdos that I will accept, like people who are into the same sort of fetishes and stuff that I am into. Like people who are into the same things as me that are a bit unorthodox. Or like, you know, they're a furry like me. But they might be weird in other ways though. I know it sounds horrible, and people will probably have a go at me for saying this, but weirdos are like people who have foot fetishes or pee fetishes or putting tennis rackets up arses. That's like a weirdo to me. Or people who, or they might bug you about their fetish that you're not into. So if someone has a foot fetish but they try and foist their foot fetish onto me and go on about my feet or go on about something like or always asking to see my feet or whatever, that's like a weirdo. I know I'm into the fat fetish too, but if some person started bugging me about my belly and seeing my belly, I'd call them a weirdo because I don't like being bugged about things, and if that's all they talk about, then that's a weirdo. No offense. Just people who latch on to certain subjects and then just don't let go, and they won't talk about anything else. That's a weirdo. Like so far I've got this idiot on my messenger called Tim Dunn, and all he keeps going on about is, do you like wearing? And I'm like, what? And he doesn't even realise. I'm like, what? And he's like, do you? And he keeps going on about it, and I'm like, and then when you finally find out what it is, it's apparently leotards. That's all he keeps going on about, is he keeps asking me over and over again the same question, just repetitive. If I like wearing leotards. I've already answered that question a while ago. That I don't have one. I don't have a leotard. So, shut up. Yeah, drunk idiots, people on drugs, people who are just into something and that's all they're into and they're not willing to sort of talk about anything else. That's like a weirdo. Yeah, drunk people are definitely weirdos. People are just into weird stuff like, oh, I know, I've got another one. And remember, don't say I'm kink shaming, it's just something that I don't like personally. But I don't, I find people weird who are grown-ups who like to wear nappies and dress up like babies and stuff. I think that's weird. But like I say, they go on about it and they try and foist that fetish. Instead of just keeping it to themselves, they just kind of try and foist it onto people who have not been established that they're into it. They're the weirdos. So people who have a fetish, I don't have a problem with. But it's people who are always talking about it to non-fetish people. So, like, if someone started talking to me randomly about nappies before having first established that I am also into that, that's a weirdo. Because they're trying to talk to object. God, they've not done my hair very even, have they? Look at that, jeez. That might be just because that's the moment. Let's try the front bit. Front bit. I can't even get out. No, that bit's like the same length. I'm gonna need a new haircut soon. So yeah, people, like I say, normal people are people who just keep it to themselves, really. People who foist their fetishes onto total strangers and start talking about weird stuff, sexual stuff, before they're even acquainted. It's like I would never do that. Yeah, sort of like tell people, oh, I like fat people. I wouldn't start asking a random person to start showing me their belly or just talk to them about that and nothing else. I wouldn't do that, would I? Wouldn't do that, would I? That'd be rude. Yep, some fetishes are more weird than others. Yeah, foot fetishes are weird. Nappy fetishes are weird. Fat fetishes are normal. What else? I suppose BDSM fetishes are normal only because it seems to be more mainstream. That seems to be the most mainstream fetish of all. Because apparently anybody who's into sex is into that, apparently. So it's not a specialised fetish anymore that only certain people are into. Apparently just every sexual deviant is into it. Like just people who like to have a lot of sex apparently all like that kind of sex, apparently. The reason why I say that is because it's always on sitcom type things and films. So when we've established that a certain character is promiscuous, they're automatically into every kind of sexual thing there is going, apparently. I don't know how them being sexually promiscuous equates with them just being into every sexual deviant and kink there are going, but apparently. So therefore it's not a fetish anymore, because fetish implies it's something unusual and out of the norm. But if everybody who's into regular sex and not of it are into that sort of thing, then it can't be a fetish anymore. Maybe a kink, but not a fetish. Again, a fetish implies it's something out of the ordinary that you're into. Sorry, I don't know what he's talking about. Get a t-shirt made up for saying I am into fat people. Yeah, let's do that. Or a t-shirt saying, show me your fat belly because I like fat bellies. I'm not into abs. I don't know. I would like this. No saying fuck off weirdos. I can't say fuck off weirdos because they might say, well, what in your book is a weirdo? And then it's like, oh, I have to explain it to them. And I'd have to like have a list and say, right, the people I consider weird is this. And the people who would normally be considered weird, but I don't consider weird, is this. So it'd be like furries, people who are like fat people. What else? I don't even know. stuff I'm into. Kinky stuff. Kinky stuff. Have that printed on the back. Yeah, I could have only talk to me if you like fat people. The small print. Well, all the list of people I consider weird. So, fuck off weirdos, and then at the back I'll put a list down. This is what I consider weirdos, and have like a list of all the people I think are weird. So drunk people, people on drugs, people who are just gonna talk to me about repetitive things, ugly people, so on and so forth. People with bad breath. I hate that. Or any kind of body odor, like that Phil guy. That Phil guy I met up with. I was like, do you know what? As soon as I saw him, as soon as I saw him, I thought he's gonna have either body odor or bad breath, bad oral hygiene. Rapists, murderers. Yeah, as if you could tell those people to stay away because they just do it anyway. It's not like people normally ask for it unless they don't. That kind of defeats the object, actually. Because I don't think anybody wants to be approached by a murderer or a rapist, so I don't think I have to actually list that. Like, say, stay away murderers and rapists. You think a murderer or rapist is going to take notice that, oh, wait, this person doesn't want to be bothered by murderers, rapists. Right, okay, I'll back off then. I was going to murder her or rape her, but now I'm not going to because she says it on a t-shirt, stay away. I don't think that's going to work somehow. I'm talking about normal weirdos. Like, harmless ones. I don't think so. That would be a bit weird, wouldn't it? You probably saw the skink lines. I'm confused again. I forgot what I was talking about. How about people who are abusive? I mean, I would be cool. I would be cool with that as long as they are abusive to other people and not me. Because you hear about these stories, don't you? Like, instead of a woman dating or marrying an abusive man who's abusive to her, he's abusive or a bad person, but he's only abusive or bad to other people. And they hunt their victims together. Like, they'll kidnap another woman and make her their slave. Or another man. Or something. They're like, yes, you're our slave now. And they abuse that person instead. That would be alright. I don't mind having a partner in crime. That would be cool. Like I say, someone who's abusive, but they're not abusive to me personally. But like, if the hooligans or anybody started giving me shit, they would be abusive to them. They would do their abusive stuff, you know, their violent temper thing would come out when somebody pissed me off. You know what I mean? Or them off. I don't mind that. I don't mind being with someone who's abusive, but they're abusive to everyone else but me. So someone who has a bad temper, but they don't show the temper to me, they show it to everybody else. And when I say everybody else, I mean idiots. Not obviously like people that I like. You know, I'm not talking about like if I have friends and they're just like abusive to them and drive them away. I mean, like if there's people I hate and they give me any jip. Like I've just had like that woman who said please and thank you to me, like urging me to say please and thank you, and the person I was with said nothing. But my abusive husband, he would speak up and say, how very dare you, she's not a child, you know, very rude. Like that would be cool if someone just defended me like that. Or like if I'm walking in the street and the kids start howling at me and calling me Wolfie, my abusive send you to another planet with my foot up your ass. Or if you do that again, I will show you what a real wolf does. And then you won't mess with us anymore. Because if I was this wolf that everyone keeps saying I am, I would have mauled them by now. Kind of wish that was... That's it. Forget that. If I could catch them, I would. If I could. The problem is they're always... I can never catch them. I wouldn't even care about going to jail. It's like, well, these people have bullied me for years. Why should I put up with it? I'm going to take care of the problem myself. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Hey. Yeah. But that's one of the reasons I like the mafia, because if anybody pisses them off, they can just whack them. But they can get away with it. So, I like that. Well, if I did it, I would get in trouble then. I like that. I like the idea of being untouchable. Like, you can do whatever you want. If you've got good reason, of course. Like, one of the things is I think abused women should be allowed to murder their spouses. You know, if they're really dangerous. But they get prosecuted, don't they? And go through fucking trials and all sorts, and maybe even get locked up. It's a bit shit. It's like, she kind of had good reason. It's not like she's going to start making a habit of it. It's only someone that's going to make a habit of murdering people that you need to lock up. So that they don't do it again. But someone who just does it one-off to protect themselves or to survive, I think that should be let off, to be honest. So if someone is in danger, whether it be from an abuser, a stalker, or something like that, I think it should be okay to murder them. And you just, you know, you prove, oh, well, it was in self-defense. There was one near me last year. What? An abuser. An abusive person abusing their wife or whatever. Or a murderer. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm responding to this. Then called the police on herself. Yeah, and if she gets prosecuted, if she was being treated really badly, then I think that it's okay. Yeah, my mum has said it. She said if someone gets harassed or attacked or endangered or threatened by someone, if someone feels threatened by someone and then they finally snap and kill that person, it's like they have good reason. I don't see why they should be treated as a criminal. It's like they wouldn't ordinarily do that. So I don't see why their life should be ruined because they tried to save their own life. It's like the price to pay for escaping an abuser or a predator is for your life to be ruined. Bit shit, really. So basically you've got two choices. You can either continue to put up with the abuser, harasser, stalker, or someone else who is threatening your life or making your life a living hell. You can either put up with that for the rest of your life or their life, or you can kill them, but then you get locked away and your life is ruined for the rest of your life due to that. So yeah, that's the choice that people in those situations have to... That's the decision they have to make. Because, I mean, you know, you could sort of have them arrested, but then they probably get out on good behaviour. Then they come back, and then they track you down again, and then they make your life a living hell again. So you never get rid of them. I've heard these stories. Like, you know, where the victim escapes their abuser or whatever, but then the abuser comes after them. That's terrifying. So you're never really shot of them. And they might go to prison for a time, but then they get out. And then they probably will continue to harass you after they get out. So it's not really... So yeah, death is definitely the best place for them. And if the law isn't going to implement own hands, really. And I know that they frown upon that, but it's better than being, you know, living in hell. Hell on earth, isn't it? Suicide. Yes, they waste their own life for no reason as well. Just because of somebody else being a prick. The snake. Just in case you're wondering what I'm playing with, I've just been playing with this. I feel bad I don't play with it very often. It's cool, these snakes. I really love them. I always liked my snakes. I have them plastic ones as well. I've got another one up there. I'm using it for a purpose at the moment. I'll show you real quick. Okay, so this. So I found this that I got last year for my birthday. As some of you will recognise. I found it in a bag just recently. And this bit, its hair, or its fire, or whatever you want to call it, was all crumpled up and crushed up. Now, I don't know whether I've solved the problem, but I thought if I put something in this gap here for a while, it might put it back into shape again. So I've used the other snake, this one, the python one. That's the cobra one. This one's the python one. And I put that there. So when I'm not using it now, I put that there. And I put it in such a way that it stayed. Yep, there we go. I used the fattest part of the snake to put in between so it would go back into shape again. But I'm not sure if I remove the snake, it's just going to go back into the crap position. I don't know how long it's been like that for. I thought it was ruined because while the hair was flat down on its back, I couldn't get to its little button to make it fly. I'll show you. This bit here was like flat against its back. This bit, it was like kind of twisted and turned, so I couldn't do that anymore. Put my fingers there to play with it like that. So I had to fix it. I had no choice. I was trying to find something else that would work. I couldn't. I made it stay the first time, but now it's fixed, so that's good. I got a squirrel as well. People who go to McDonald's back in the day, you would recognise this. I bought this. Sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. I loved this squirrel so much. I first saw it at my friend's house next door. I thought, oh, I really want that. But unfortunately, by the time I discovered this squirrel, because I was obsessed with squirrels as a kid, by the time I saw this and discovered that they were, doing these at McDonald's, it was over. Because, there was I think it was a week you got until they, stopped doing a particular toy and moved on to the next toy. So I missed out on this one by the time I discovered they were giving these away. And my friend had one, and I remember being so jealous, and I was really upset that I missed it. But then one day, by some luck, when we were at the mill, if you don't know, is a place where you can buy stuff. It's like a collection of indoor shops, which I thought a mill was back then. I didn't know a mill was a place where they make stuff, like a factory. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. I thought a mill was a place where you go and buy stuff, like an indoor market, which is what this was. But I realise now that mill meant like a factory from the old days, where they make cotton and shit, I guess, and maybe other things too. I don't know. But yeah, because I grew up with my grandparents and my mum talking about the mill, and that mill was a shopping thing, but it just happened. I guess it was an old mill, like it used to be a place where they ground wheat and grains and cotton, apparently. That's why it was still called the mill. But I just associated the mill with, an indoor shopping place, because that's what it was that we went to. And yeah, so there was like these little shops that sold like little things. Like there was a joke shop, like a magic/joke shop, and there was like a toy shop and a clothing shop and like a little haberdashery type place and a little cafe. You know, there was all sorts of things there. Oh, there's this place where they did Reiki and they like sold all these spiritual things, these magical things. That was cool. And there was other shops as well, but I can't remember what they were. And at the toy shop bit, I found this. And I remember coming out like and showed, because I was with my granddad, and I showed my granddad. I was like, "Please, can I have this? Please, can I have this? I really, really want this." So I was really lucky in finding this. I guess it was like a second-hand sort of shop. It was like an indoor market type thing, so I suppose it was. Can you hear that? You can hear the squirrels. Can you hear it? It sounds like a fucking stampede. It's funny, I was talking about squirrels and then I could hear them in the loft. By the way, me and Brad were talking about that today, and I forgot to mention to Brad that I haven't heard the squirrels for days. So I thought they've gone by now, and I was really happy. It does chitter. I've been chittering it for the past half hour, I think. Not always, not very good, it's not consistent. It's supposed to be like that, by the way. But it's just like that permanently now. Yeah, it just stays like that permanently. It chitters when it wants to, it doesn't always. But yeah, it's really annoying. For the past maybe month or so, I've had to put up with squirrels in the loft above me. Stampeding, apparently. They've never been so loud, because we've had them for years in the loft. Not by choice. Not my choice, anyway. My mum has decided it's a cool idea to allow them to stay in there all these years. I've been trying to get built loft that they're getting in by for years. But my mum keeps telling them not to. Behind my back, by the way. She told them to tell me that there is no hole, or to not chop down certain trees so they can get to the loft. So yeah, so my mum tricked me into not having the squirrels stop going in the loft. Yay, because she's one of those extreme animal lovers that she'd rather sacrifice our sanity and health to keep certain animals safe. Like the rats, for instance. When we had the rat infestation, my mum didn't want to kill them. And that's like the only way to get rid of them. She would rather, and she was suffering all the time we had the rats. My mum was suffering with breathing problems because of the crap that they, well, not only the crap that they give off, like their fur and dander and droppings and stuff, but also as they were running around in the house, they were going behind furniture and underneath furniture where there's like dust and dirt and mold and damp, because it's very moldy and damp in most of the rooms. So the mold and damp will also be probably on the floor where they run around. So they're like spreading it around. And so as they're running around underneath all the crevices where it's all dirty and dusty and moldy and dampy, you know, they're sort of disturbing all the dust and dirt and mold and damp spores all over the place. So my mum suffered with breathing problems so bad that she was so unbearable. She was so mean and nasty to me while she was going through that. In my life. Never. The most I'll do when I'm angry is bang my fists on things, and I'll usually end up hurting this bit. But that's not me deliberately self-harming, this is me doing this in anger, you know, like drumming on something with my fists. But I actually hit myself in the head. I went like this to myself over and over again. I literally went crazy. Now, I'm not crazy. I'm not generally fundamentally crazy, but that drove me crazy. It drove me to the point where I was screaming, shouting, breaking things, hitting myself in the head, banging my fists more than usual, to the point where it was really sore. Like, it was really, I thought I'd developed arthritis, actually. It was really bad here. It was awful. That was like the worst. it was a bittersweet experience, actually. It was the worst experience of my life. That and when my mum first came out of hospital. I was depressed after that because my mum was just so nasty at the time. She argued with me over every little thing. And it wasn't just the usual moaning. It was like proper shouting and screaming and grabbing me and going like this and getting right up close in my face, like this close in my face, and staying there for 10 minutes or so. Going like this and shouting at me, like it was really intense. It was just like being confronted by a vicious dog. It was that bad. And I ended up, we had this set of like crystal glassware, and I had one left, and it was my favorite. It was my favorite glass. It's the one I used when I had wine and Baileys, which wasn't that often, so it was quite a special glass. And I smashed it because I was so angry. I mean, you know, I thought I was handling it well and I was staying calm. And I didn't argue back. But when she left the room, I would start throwing things and smashing things because I was, you know, I was so composed and calm when she was going at it. But when she left the room, all this anger bubbled up in my body and I just started throwing things. It wasn't the glass itself that I threw, but I threw something in the direction of the glass and it smashed, and I was like, oh, instant regret. And then this other time I was so angry that I just slammed myself. I've ruined my own seat. And there was something else I smashed, but I can't remember what now. So yeah, I've smashed quite a lot of my favourite things over the time when my mum came out of hospital and she was really argumentative. And also since we've had the rats. During the time, I mean. It's calmed down now. My mum's not having as bad breathing problems now. And although she does moan at me and get annoyed at me, it's nothing like it was when we had the rats. So apparently whenever my mum's ill, instead of becoming more docile like most people do, she gets more nasty. Oh yeah, that was another thing I broke. I broke a tumbler. My favourite tumbler. It was a pink one. It was lovely. Actually, there was two of them, and they both got broken. But I'm not sure if it was for the same reasons. Anyway, so yeah, so my mum would rather us both go through that. Her go through the extreme breathing problems and her being angry with me all the time and arguing with me and rowing with me. And for me to actually self-harm than kill the fucking rats! Oh, and sacrifice the house because of course they were ruining the house. They were costing us loads of money in food because they would, like I say, rip through food and eat it or half eat it and then contaminate the rest. So you know what I mean? So she'd rather the rats cost us loads of money in wasted food, cost us loads of money in damaged property, damage the property, mess up the property, chew everything, spread dust and dirt and crap all around. She would rather all that just so that she can keep a few rats alive and let them living in our house and let them eat our food. Rather than just, you know, waste a few rats so that we weren't sacrificed. So basically, she's a martyr. Although she don't mind sacrificing me and my health, but she doesn't want to sacrifice rats' lives, which pisses me off. Now that angers me. It angers me when people favour animals so much that they'd rather everything be destroyed and people's people's health be destroyed rather than kill a few rats, which there are like millions of thousands of them. And it's the same with the squirrels. Although the squirrels have been less destructive, they're still annoying and wake me up in the night and the morning and annoy me and scare me as well, because I've just been innocently like doing something like I've been doing now, and suddenly I'll hear a big stampede above me and it scares the shit out of me because it sounds, which is more possible, but if we're being realistically, they sound like a feckin' stampede of wildebeest. Definitely some kind of hoofed animal. If I didn't know there were squirrels in the loft, I would definitely think there was some kind of hoofed animal, if that was at all possible, in there, because they were that loud. They have been lately, that loud. They've never been this loud. Like I say, we've had these squirrels in the loft, again, not by my own choice, for years. And they've never been this loud. I don't know what they're doing up there that is being this loud this particular time. It's a shame you didn't hear it though. I mean, it was loud enough. I'm surprised you didn't hear it. I must try and get a video. But for the last few days to a week, I've not heard them, and it's been wonderful. But now I can hear them again. Right. Yeah, my God, that's right. Probably fucked up the loft. Oh yeah, they've been up there for years. So yes, probably fucked up. I remember one time we opened the hatch to the loft, which is up there, and all these, like a massacre of stuffed toys came down. Because we used to keep the Christmas stuff decorations and the load of stuffed toys up there, and they ruined it all. But I don't think there's anything up there else that they can destroy now that they've not already done, so I guess it's all okay. The only problem is that they just annoy me now. The hatch is in the purple room. There is no other hatch, and that hatch is jammed, so I can't even go in there. Because my plan was every time that they started being annoying, I was going to go up there and scare them off. That was going to be my plan. And I thought maybe if I did that enough, they'd think it's not worth it and piss off. So apparently, I learnt somewhere that squirrels, apparently if you disturb their living area, they fuck off and don't come back because, as far as they're concerned, it's been threatened. So they won't go back in a place where a human has been. You know, so if that was habited by me, they would go away and they wouldn't come back because they'd feel threatened. So I was going to keep, as they keep disturbing me, I was going to keep disturbing them back every time they were up there. But the most I can do is bang on it, dear. I've also learnt that squirrels are repelled by garlic, so I was gonna buy a bunch of garlic cloves and chop them up and throw them in there. That was gonna be my plan, but obviously I can't do that now because I can't open the damn hatch. Not that I could get up there anyway anymore, because the place where the ladder goes is like a pile of boxes, so I can't really do that anymore unless I moved all the boxes. Oh my God, what the hell? Door just bloody rumbled. I better go. I've been live streaming for like over 2 hours and I haven't done anything useful like I promised my mum I would do. I didn't hoover after all. I was going to hoover. I did hoover on Saturday. I don't do anything on Sunday. Sunday's like my day off, supposedly. I still end up having to do stuff, but so it's 6:40. I could probably still get away with hoovering, even if I only hoover like one carpet. Because on Saturday I hoovered about 6 o'clock, so I suppose I still have some time. Because I could hoover while the food is doing. I could do that. Yeah, but I'm so proud of myself I hoovered on Saturday. I think the saddest thing in the world where your only achievement is having hoovered the hallway. Let it go back down, then been going a long time. Yeah, it's just that I had loads of subjects today and I've had 2 coffees, so I'm wired. And we'll be all night now. Hooray! I'm glad you like my cosplay. It's great, isn't it? Really, please support me. If anybody wants a painting doing, you can have the painting as well. I can do realistic portraits in oil paints, acrylic paints. I don't have any watercolours, but if anybody actually wanted me to do that, I suppose I could. I don't think it would be any really different or better. No! Yeah, anyway, yes. So if you want a painting doing I can do acrylic paints or oil paints, or I could do pencils if you want that, but it won't be very good. It'll probably just be very faded. Because for some reason, every pencils I get, like I see other artists, they say scribble like a little child going over with crayons, and it looks all faded and rubbish. I don't know how all these people do like proper good and detailed art with pencils. I just can't get pencils to do anything other than just make a bit of a faded colour, so it looks slightly more coloured than if it was black and white. Especially yellow. Like, you can't do anything with yellow, it still looks white after you've gone over it with yellow. Just had to, didn't you? Just had to spoil it. You just had to, didn't you? You just had to spoil it, didn't you? You just had to. Report him. Get rid of him. I'm going to beat you up. I heard of something called Copic pens. They're really good. They're so good that it looks like a digital picture. So I asked Copics, but apparently they're really... I've had good, like I've had watercolor pencils. They weren't really much better. Yeah. I got some. My mum just bought some pencils and I tried them out and they were like fucked up. They were just as crap as any cheap pencil. In fact, cheap pencils are fecking better. Yeah, Copics, they're not pencils, but they're like felt tip pens, but not as like smudgy. It's like basically doing paint. It's like going over something with paint rather than felt tip markers. So they're like they're markers. Copics markers they're called, but they're better than the usual markers that you get. Because like I say, the usual markers just bleed all over the place and the colour's too deep. Having with pens, so the pencils are too fadey. The colour is too fadey and not like bold enough. And felt tip pens are too bold. Like the colours are too deep. And I thought, oh, you know, I've learnt that some artists do both together. Like they combine their felt tip pens with their pencils to create deeper and like faded in places where it needs to be faded and deeper in places it needs to be deeper. But when I tried it, it just looked a mess. It just looked terrible. So I don't know how they make the look good. I think you can get it at Hobbycraft. That's where I found my Copics from. It might be, I don't know, I didn't look. When I was looking for them mechanical pencils. I wasn't looking for Copics there, so I don't know if they do them. Anyway, so yeah, I think the best bet is if you want a nice faded artwork, I'll do pencils. If you want a really good artwork, I can do paints. And if you want a good artwork that's more easier for me, have a digital picture done. I don't see the problem I am having with real paints is that when you make a mistake, it's very hard to correct it. Whereas with digital art, you can just erase it and go over it again without any, you know, like too much effort or too much bother or, you know, risking ruining the picture. It's like basically if you make a mistake in painting, you have to start again. I mean, there are some painting things that can be corrected, painting mistakes, but others are just really hard. Like I was doing this particular art for no reason at all. I was roped into kind of doing it, as in these people didn't commission me, but my mum insisted that I paint a picture of their son who had just won a Red Cross or something. I forgot what it's called again. The Saint something ambulance. I forget. I'm useless. I never remember this name. St. John's or something like that. He just won a Saint something ambulance medal, and they sent me a picture of him in his uniform. My mum said I should just paint the picture and send it to them, and they'll probably pay me for it. So I did that, but unfortunately I got the nose wrong. So I had to wait for the nose to dry. So that took days. It takes days for paints to dry. So I have to wait days for the nose to dry before I can even start to correct it. Days later, go over it with flesh colour. Then you have to wait for that to dry, so that could take days. And then when that's finally dry, you go over it again. And then sometimes you have to wait for that to dry before you do the next bit. And I did this several times, and my mum said it was wrong every single time. Every single just one time. I had to correct it several times. So in the end, I just gave up. It looked close, you know, it looked near as damn it. You know, it's like a really hard, like, shape to do. It's like impossible to do it exactly, precisely right, but it was near as damn it. You could tell it was him. You could tell it was his nose. It looked okay. But it was never right, so I had to correct it several times. And the very last time I decided to do it, again, it was wrong, so I've just left it now. I've just left it now. And after all that, she didn't even want it. She said, oh, we've got a print done of the photograph. St. John's, that's it. I keep forgetting. I don't know why. Painting is hard. Whatever that means. Noses are hard to do, right? I know. Yes, they are. Very hard to do. So if you could get it looking like a nose, that should be fecking good enough. It doesn't have to be precise, right? It was one of those, I think it was like a nose where it had like a bulby bit here. And then it was like hooked here. So it was bulby here and then hooked. I was like, that's really impossible to do. Noses are really hard. My favourite thing to do is eyes. I always loved doing eyes, but mouths I could never do right and noses I could never do right. I think I get the hang of it now, so don't worry. Before you start saying, oh, I'm not going to commission you because you're a crap artist because you can't do nose and mouth. Before you say that and discredit me, I think I can do it better now. I'm just saying this was back when I was like first doing it. But this was years ago that I did that painting and couldn't get the nose right. And I said that about, I said, well, at least if it's near as damn it, you know, that should be good enough. But my mum was like, no, it has to be absolutely perfect. Okay. People will not take you seriously as an artist if you don't make sure it's always precisely, absolutely 100% spot on perfect. Like, great. No pressure then. It's like when I was younger, when I first started out doing artist stuff, like realistic stuff, I mean, in paintings and stuff. I used to believe that I had to be willing to paint absolutely anything. Like if I read it, this some people say no, you can specialize in something. Like if I was to specialize in something, I definitely specialize in doing portraits, especially like portraits from here up, like a bust, and animals. That's what I would specialize in doing, painting wise. I'm not really a big fan of doing like landscapes and skyscapes and all that. I don't know. I like, unless it's a background, I prefer to do sentient things, you know. So animals, humans, magical creatures, mythical creatures, fantasy stuff. I don't like doing things that are not sentient or alive. I mean, I know that like trees and shit are alive, but you know what I mean? Like they don't talk and move and have personalities as such, do they? For some reason, I only like, maybe I should, as a rule of thumb, just say I only paint things with eyes. And faces. I only paint things with faces. I don't like painting on alive things. I don't like to say that. What do you call it then? I think it's sentient, isn't it? Where they're like conscious and they think and talk and move and have eyes and faces and stuff. That's called sentient, isn't it? Although they called androids not sentient and they have faces and move and shit, so maybe not. I don't know. Whatever the word is to describe something that is a person as opposed to an inanimate object, I prefer to paint that. So there. He looks like Squidward's droopy dick nose. That is really funny. I could paint Squidward if you like. Yeah. So yes, everybody, although I specialize in portraits and animals, I actually do feel confident that I can paint anything. So if someone came and said, I want you to paint me a building or a tree or a car or a motorbike or something, or a shop front, which would come under the category of building, and I'm just going to say vehicle for anything Weebly. I'm not sure what it's called. It might be, it's called either Rosie's Art or like Royal Rose Art or something like that. But I can't remember. Nobody really ever wants to see my art anyway, or be interested in it, so. But it's all old stuff, so maybe they won't like it because it's old. Because I've not really painted for a while. I have kind of, but you know, I did. The most recent one I did was of my dad's dog. And I did the cat. I need to paint our dog, actually. The one that has passed away. I have a lot of things I want to paint, but for some reason I can't get back into it. I don't know why. I've not even been doing my digital art for a few weeks. I've been doing art every day, though. I've been doing sketches of Jeremiah's comic. And been doing Fluffer Puffers. But that's about it. I've not been colouring anything in. I've not really been... I don't know why. I just can't seem to get motivated to do anything. It is awful. You need an art room. If you're asking. This is the art room, technically. This is the room we used to do arts and crafts in. Fluffer Puffers. No good trying to do it in just the kitchen. Yeah, that's the only place with a table and stuff, so. I mean, I could do it on the floor if I don't mind being all crunched up like I am now. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm lying. I've got it right here, actually, my latest painting that I did, the recentest one. I got it here. Oh, where is it? That's not it. I've been hiding it. I've had to do it up here because it was a surprise for my mum. I was going to do this for Christmas or her birthday or something like that. Actually, oh, yeah, I was going to do this one. There you go. That's my most recent one. It's not finished. But I started that years ago. But it was the most recent one. That's our house. It looks good, doesn't it, though? I mean, even though it's not, like, detailed or whatever, I think it looks really good. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do it realistic technically, but I'm going to make the colours still nice and bold and like more cartoony because I like that kind of artwork, like old artwork from the Victorian era where it was kind of realistic but cartoony. So this is a summer themed one. So I was going to give this one to my mum for her birthday, which is in summer. And then I was going to do another one, a winter themed one. So it's basically the same picture but winter instead. And yeah, I'll give that for Christmas. And what I was going to do, we don't actually have a Christmas tree in our garden. Well, we do, but it's not near the house. So I was gonna just deliberately paint in a Christmas tree next to the house and then decorate it all Christmassy and have like lights on it and stuff. And decorate the house like with the painting version of the house with decorations because we can't do it for real because we don't have people to do it. Like you see people in the movies, don't you, where they climb a ladder and they like staple Christmas lights to their house, and it's like, how do they do that? I couldn't do that. That's the one thing Americans do right, is decorations in the street and whatnot. Yeah, I think this was back in the era where I didn't date anything. I didn't always think to. So yeah, so that's the original picture. So yeah, I'm quite proud of that, even though it doesn't look like much at the moment. I'm quite proud of that. So I'm probably going to do that minus the car, the bin, and the slide, because that looks shit. Oh, and the thing over here is like a TV and a crappy chair. I thought it looked good. I've got an easel. I've got 2 of them. My mum's got one as well. You can see the outline where I tried to not do the tree. I don't know how I'm going to do the bricks because they look really tiny on this picture. I don't actually know how I'm going to do the detail of the bricks. I'm going to leave out the mould and damp as well, because you can see the mould and damp on the side of the house at the bottom there. I'm going to leave that out as well. Unless you'll think the white texture will give it some interest. I might do the car, I don't know. Maybe without its cover on. That looks a bit shit. No, I'll probably leave it out. I can't be bothered anyway. Like extra shit, extra thing. I painted the roof, but you can't really see the roof. So yeah, one of them knives to do. But they're like really tiny. It's not like the other house I did where it was more close up and you could see the bricks. This one's like, they're just like tiny dots. That would take me forever. Need a stencil. Well, look at that. I'd have to like do a magnifying glass on it. It would take forever. I don't mind doing bricks, you know. I could do detail bricks and everything, but not tiny is a bit. If I try and do that, because the mortar is white, obviously, and what I did was, on the other building that I did, I just did like lines of white and then just went through it like that. Obviously in brick style. I didn't just go... I didn't just do that, but you know what I mean. I did the bricks in detail. But that was closer up and they were bigger. If I do it that tiny that it is, the paint's just going to bleed. And it's going to look really bad. It's just going to ruin it. I'm afraid of ruining it. I suppose I can go over it again if I do ruin it. It's just that it's card, so it might get ruined. See, I'm quite pleased with that, so I need to do that, don't I? I need to continue with it. Quite pleased with it. It's like even stuff I don't, even stuff I like to do, I just don't do for some reason. I don't know why. It's just terrible. I think it's one of them vicious cycle things. You know, where you just don't do stuff and it's hard to get back into doing stuff, even though you want to do stuff. But you've been not doing stuff for so long that you're just like so used to not doing stuff that you don't do stuff even more. You don't do stuff even more. I don't know what it is. Okay, I'm gonna, not that I need to, but I'm gonna cover this up so that my mum doesn't see it. I'll put it in there. It's obviously brick as is. I don't know. I don't know how to do the detail of the house. It's so tiny. I don't know how to do it. Like the bricks. I'd have to leave it block brown, but that might not look, you know, good enough. Most artists would probably tell me, oh, you don't have to do every brick, or oh, you don't have to do every leaf on a tree. And it's like, I always thought you had to do that. I always thought you had to do like every little detail. Apparently you don't have to do that. So like with leaves, all you have to do is go with one of those fluffy brushes and make little speckly things. But when I used to paint leaves, I used to actually paint every individual leaf. And then it didn't look good after all that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to stop the stream now because it's dead long. So goodbye, don't forget to support me, and don't forget I do the... you know, I also do digital art as well. Pretty good, damn good digital furry art, so please commission me or else I'll do a hit on you. We have watched Bob Ross, actually.